with them and focus more on these illicit arms and small arms and light weapons. And then further to that, we have what we call the international tracking system, where going forward, all weapons in every country will be marked. So that when you have all weapons in Nigeria will be marked, with NG, which signifies Nigeria, stroke some numbers that will be there. So any weapon you see bearing NG, you just know immediately it's from Nigeria. And the same thing for Benin Republic, could be BN, like that. So this will help us to know when weapons have moved from one country to the other. And then we can raise an alarm that this is happening too much. We'll call that country, please check your system. We have also number, we have also weapon with this number that we believe is from you. And same way, if because we participate in international peacekeeping operations around the world, if our soldiers or our airmen or policemen go for international peacekeeping operations and their weapons get lost because they could be ambushed or something, it could be in operations, weapons could get lost. With those numbers, wherever in the world, anybody who picks it up will know that this belongs to Nigeria, and they will find a way to return it to us. So these are ways we are mapping out to, restrict this cross-border movement, in addition to physical work they do at the border. Please remind me the second question you asked. The populace.
Yeah.
Yes, we are doing a lot of sensitization with because like I told you, it's not a task for just the center. Security is everybody's business. So we're doing a lot of awareness campaigns with civil society organizations, with the traditional rulers, with students, even to NYC camps. We'll go to orientation camps to talk to them. Because if you see a wrong thing and you don't report, in the end it might boomerang to your community or to all of us. So we encourage people to give us information. Even if you can't get to a center directly, go to the nearest security organization near you and report. If you notice that somebody is dealing in arms illegally, it's your duty to make such reports, and we'll take it off from there. And let me use this opportunity to assure any member of the society who brings such information that his security will be highly protected, because this is what is done in utmost confidentiality. So we encourage people to support us. We've received massive support from all security agencies, Army, Police, DSS, and we're asking for the same from the general public.
Just two questions before we wrap up. Nigerian youths, they are getting innovative right now. Even in universities, they are producing alternative bombs. We heard from one of the newspapers just last week of alternative bombing somewhere. So is there a way you are collaborating with education or with the public institutions in making sure that they don't produce illegal small arms? Secondly, what other roles? You've talked about the things you are doing already, the organization is doing. So what other strategies are you putting in place to make sure that these illegal arms proliferation is curbed or reduced?
Okay, thank you. On the students or young people who generally are into this arms production, we have put out notice or information that instead of you to be producing arms and you're selling it to people who might turn around and kill you yourself. Because if you're selling arms illegally, the man you're selling it to, you don't know the day he comes to your community, you don't know who he's going to use it against. It could be your brother, it could be your wife, it could be your family. So there's a policy of the federal government today that if you have such a skill set and you can produce arms, come forward. The country is ready to employ you and use your skill positively.
Has it ever been done before?
Yeah, we're working on this. We're gathering the data, and then but most of them, they think they're going to be prosecuted or dealt with. They are going underground. But let me use this opportunity to assure them again that the nation means well. Instead of you to be doing this and be hiding and killing your brother and killing your community, You come forward with your skill set, and once we see that, yes, you're good in it, we give you a good employment. The defense industries in corporation in Kaduna is ready. We have discussed with them. They're willing. We're looking for people to help Nigeria grow. Instead of us spending the little foreign exchange you have, going to buy from other countries, if we have people who have such skill, come and the nation will pay you for that, and you'll be happier that you're producing for your country, So that's what we're doing to discourage people from going on the ground and doing these things. And then we've been going out there to do a lot of advocacy that, Nigeria cannot develop like this. If you continue to empower non-state actors who cause us trouble, the money that the federal government or the state government would have used to build roads, they use them to buy military weapons, to be fighting insurgents and terrorists. So we're indirectly harming ourselves. So we encourage them to please come forward, and we will employ them, and Nigeria will be better for it. Sorry, what was the second question? Sorry.
I think you've already used one stone to kill two birds. Okay, I think because of time, we'll have to let it here, but we'll also be, engaging you more often to know how.
Let me just end by saying that the center is up and running. Our headquarters is domiciled in the Office of the National Security Advisor in Abuja, and presently we have 6 zonal offices, one in each zone. The office for the Southeast Zone is here in ENUGU, which I'm privileged to head right now. And then we'll have the one in the northwest is in Kaduna, the one of the north central is in Mina, the one of the northeast is in Maiduguri, the one on the south side is in Calabar, while the one of southwest is in Ado-Ekiti. There are plans to expand with time. We're going to have state offices, we're going to have even up to local government offices. So it's a center that is even going to create employment for our youth, and help to increase economic activities where we are, And this is a very good thing, and it's in consonance with global best practices. Nigeria cannot be lagging behind. And like I said, it's a global challenge. So all nations need to come together to fight this, and Nigeria cannot be left,
behind. Yeah. Thank you very much, Major General Okechukwu Ugo. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right, this is it on today's edition. We'll be going for a quick break, and Charles.
All right. I think we've finished on the morning show today. We're connecting back to our station in Abuja for other conversations as it relates to politics, education, and even sports. Do stay with us.
All right.
political capital of Nigeria. I am Godwin Sunday. There are a lot of issues that need urgent attention, and one of those issues right now is the basic necessity of life, and that is housing in Nigeria, and especially within the Federal Capital Territory. Now, the hike at which the price house rent in Abuja, if you like to use that word, is going, it's become like a freelance rise in Abuja. The various sectors in Abuja, from Nyanya through to through to Kwali and back to Kubwa, it's on a free rise, and we want to know what are some of the reasons behind all of this hike in rent, and the cost of ownership of property also is not even looking friendly. It's a weekend edition of Signature and Morning here in the Federal Capital Territory. I'm being joined in this conversation by Engineer Yunusa. Engineer Yunusa is a professional when you count 1 to 10 in Abuja when it has to do with the real estate sector. And of course, his name will be part of the 10 top listed names in Abuja. Let me welcome my guest this morning. Engineer Yunusa, you're welcome to Signature Morning.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, so let's get into the conversation right now. You heard from my opening how the cost of houses is rising in Abuja. Ownership of property is almost becoming an impossible mission. But give us an overview. Why do we have this at this point in time in Abuja?
Okay, thank you once more for having me, and thank you for coming up with this interesting topic that directly affects the industry at which we operate. The rising cost of house ownership in Abuja can first of all directly trace to high rate of migration into the Federal Capital Territory. We all have this while growing up. Where if you are comfortable with Nollywood, somebody will be in the village, then the uncle will come from the city, probably Lagos or Abuja. Then at the end of the movie, you will become a big man. So this has a psychological effect in everybody, and believes that Abuja is the area to go. And when the population is high, the demand for is not demand, so the cost will go up. So like now, currently, like recently, about last week ago, the fuel pump price was increased. So why? Before then, you see queue everywhere, meaning the supply is lower than the demand. And for unfortunately, what happened? You see the price went up. So it's the same thing in housing. So number one reason why it is going up is the high rate of migration towards the urban cities.
All right, thank you for that quick one. But then we have a lot of housing regulators in Abuja. As a matter of fact, Abuja happens to be like the seat of housing regulators in Nigeria. Are we saying that there not been enough when it has to do with regulating the prices of houses in the Federal Capital Territory?
Okay, we can't say they are not doing enough. In housing, I think let me use this opportunity, if I have the time, to go deep into the pricing of housing. To acquire a house or property, as we popularly called it, depend on several factors, especially in FCT here. In FCT, number one of the factors that will affect that is location. You see, FCT was designed in such a way that the government activities are concentrated in one area. Then the need for people to live close to where things are happening, that is where our seat of power is high. Then people closer to these areas will pay more. That's location. Then someone that is living far, let's say satellite areas like Buhari, let's say Gwagwalada, for example, their costs will be lesser than those that are closer to this area. So the regulatory bodies, they are doing their best, but as we said, they are also being overwhelmed. And there are these factors that I am making mention of are natural factors. The location influence the pricing. Like now, here in Maitama, the pricing of housing here is not comparable to the price of housing in places like Buhari. Let me even say like Kubwa. Or if we want to even be fair, places like Jahi, Maitama is more expensive. So location plays a very high role, and there's nothing anybody can do, even the regulatory body, because as I said, the seat of power is closer. Everybody wants to be closer, meaning the people that want it are very high than even the available property to serve them. And you know, this is sorry to say, it's a business for us and for other people also. So when the demand is high, is who can pay will get it. Then secondly, in the price too, where I want to talk more of the regulatory bodies is issue of the components that made up the housing. You know, housing major components we have there is cement and reinforcement, which is iron rods. So the pricing of these materials is going up all the time. And if I would tell you confidently, from December 2023 till date, we have experienced 145% increment in major housing material prices. So this will affect the price definitely, and it will push the cost high. So these are the factors, and the regulatory bodies need to come in, especially in the areas of pricing regulation, because as I said, I talk about the factor of demand and supply. Then regulation need to come in so that these factors will not move all of us out of extinction.
All right, so Engineer Unisa, many people will say at this point in time that the government is not doing enough in terms of regulation. But then you made mention of a particular pressing issue, which is the prices of commodity. But then again, some houses were built about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and the landlords are just increasing the price of the rent of these houses. Can this be likened to the shared wickedness on the part of the landlords?
Okay, thank you very much again for this question. It's not, I can't say that it's a wickedness. No.
If you buy the property, it's fine. If you buy the property 10 years ago, you bought cement 20 years ago.
The property,
you're not buying new cement to fix
the 20 years ago.
Okay.
Let me talk to you now at the point of an investor. Yes, someone that owns a house that gives it out for investment purposes. So I'm going to give illustration, and I hope that will suffice. We were all here that somewhere around last year, the price of electricity was increased. So if you bought property 20 years ago in your house, are you not buying electricity? You are buying. Then price of premium, that is petrol, went up too. Let's talk of food items too. These people, investors, the landlord as we call them, most of them acquire property like as we know, most of us have a lot of our retirement plan, and most investors investment as part of their own retirement. So if the economic factor is eating deep into them, so they will also react in that source of, which is the property they have. So where government need to come in is this. There are policies that are directly affecting this landlord, that makes the landlord to react in increasing his or her property. Then if government can come in, yes, they all know it's out there that most of these policies are harsh and it's affecting businesses and individuals. So in order to take or share the pain of the citizens that are also victim of the landlord increment, provide some housing incentives for people. Nothing is bad. Like, you know that as far as this Abuja is concerned, government have an estate that if you go there, even if you are a student, you can rent them at an affordable price, even if it is a hostel estate model. You know what I mean by estate model? So as a single person, what you just need is a bed space. Government owns this thing. I will go there. I can have what you need is shelter. I will have this shelter. Then this will be fair. But in a situation where these interventions are not there,